Steve, Novak, our fave, Novi, good morning. Oh, wow, the headband.
Okay. I didn't see that. He got the, he promised the mullet last week, and Steve Novak is a man of his word. My goodness, that is a look if I've ever seen one, Steve. I love it.
Kaz, I have to say, and Monica, you know, last week, Kaz, you were saying, oh, Jaromir Jagr, his mullet, he's such a manly man. He's the baddest white boy you know. And I'll be honest, I got in my feelings just a little bit. I thought we were close. We have such good camaraderie. And I was thinking, you know what? I got to let it out. I'm going to let it grow. So, Kaz, really, this is for you.
Did he take it personally like Michael Jordan?
In 1 week.
Is that when he took it personally like Michael Jordan? Like once I said he was the baddest white boy, Novak was like, I'm going to show him. You'll see.
That's right.
Steve,
wow.
You're rocking it for the rest of the segment now, so let's get right into it.
Preseason action, Novi, who stood out to you? Is preseason a space to stand out?
You know, it can be. I think there's some teams that approach it in a way that, look, it's preseason. We don't care if we win or lose. And there's other teams that they realize they haven't played in 9 months. They've got to really use this to get their reps up. The Milwaukee Bucks have a guy in Bobby Portis who said, I haven't played in 272 days. I'm so eager to get out there and look good. But I think the guys that it's really important for are guys like Steph Curry, guys like Kevin Durant that have not been out on the court for a while, are trying to mesh with their teams and get back out there, as well as some of these rookies who certainly are picked number 1, number 2, number 3. You saw LaMelo Ball out there recently have 0 points. But to be honest, if you watch the game, he had 4 or 5 assists, 7, 8 rebounds, and he looked like one of the best prospects in the league right now because of the way he handles the ball on the court and really finds his guys. So I think it's an interesting time. Guys are definitely approaching it differently, but it still serves a purpose, even though it's only 3 or 4 games, depending on which team you're on.
Love me some LaMelo Ball. Been doing a whole lot of that Magic Johnson all weekend, so I really enjoyed that. You mentioned the 9-month layoff, and some of the star players in the NBA have had an even longer layoff. Guys like Kevin Durant, Boogie Cousins, John Wall, Stephen Curry. What are your thoughts on those guys coming back after such a long layoff? What have you seen that you've been impressed by, not so impressed by? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, to be honest, that could be maybe the most important thing that comes out of preseason for these franchises is, can we get our guys back? Can we see what they look like? To be honest, when there's been a long layoff like this, just being on the court and getting game minutes and actually getting that confidence with your teammates is the most important thing. So it is still to be seen. People are excited to see Steph Curry back out there. What are the Warriors going to look like? John Wall is now joining the Houston Rockets. There's a lot of drama there. What is John Wall going to look like? Boogie Cousins as well. It's been a strange year in basketball. There's been a 4.5-month hiatus because of COVID. There's been bubble games. And now you got a lot of guys coming back off of injury. So I think most guys are really eager, especially the ones that have been banged up, to get back out there. And some of them fit in with new franchises.
How do you balance that, though, Novi? Although the names we just mentioned, we're talking about the upper echelon guys in the league. But you can't get it all back in 2 preseason games or 4 preseason games, however many there are. So how do you balance that eagerness with gelling with your team? Because essentially, for many of them, if it's not literally a new situation, it's a different team from when they got injured.
No, you're absolutely right. And some of these guys have a bigger burden than others. Like I think about John Wall. He's kind of recruiting James Harden, which sounds crazy to try to keep him there. He's also trying to get back in all-star form, and he's trying to figure out who his teammates are and how he can help this Houston Rockets team. So there is absolutely a balance. And I think it's different for some guys. A guy like Steph Curry, who was hurt and he's coming back, he knows he has the green light. He knows he has to be aggressive. He's in a very comfortable setting. But there are other guys that I think do need to just take it slow, not try to show that they are an all-star, that they're back, show everything that they've worked on over the last few months. They've got to try to mesh. And I think in a lot of the point guards instances, they've got to try to make their team the best team they can. A guy like Kevin Durant, he can just let it fly, get out there and get up as many shots as he wants. But a lot of these guys do have a burden, and they shouldn't push it because it's still going to be a 72-game season.
One of the guys we talked about in our wake-up call to hit the snooze, Kaz was actually really hard on this guy, too, was Zion, Stevie. I said, Stevie, you're Novi, not Stevie, sorry. I
You can
said
be both.
it was
You
a
can be
dope
both. It's the
receiver.
hair. It's the hair.
Okay, Stevie for the hair. Stevie for the hair. What are your thoughts on Zion getting back? Because yes, Kaz was like, we're talking about a number 1 pick, but I said we're also talking about a guy that had injury issues last year.
Yeah. He is certainly the poster child for the NBA right now. They have given the New Orleans Pelicans so many national TV games. They want him to be center stage. I think that they think he is going to be the future of the NBA, but you're absolutely right. He is just starting to say, I have no restrictions. I'm full go. And so when you think about it from that point of view, this is the first time he's actually being given the freedom to be himself, to not have minute restrictions. And really, he's just in, let's call it his second season, even though the year has been really strange. So he is absolutely a stud. I think it's just interesting when you're a young guy, you're supposed to be an all-star, and really you haven't even started your career, it seems. It reminds me a little bit of Blake Griffin. He came into the league, had an incredible preseason, was hurt. All of a sudden he's supposed to be at an all-star standard, but really he's still figuring it out himself. So this guy's a star. He's going to be around for a long time, but it might not happen in the first month of a season right off of COVID, right after the bubble, right after basically his third off season because of the way the NBA seasons have gone over the last year.